Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
This is Allison Kentos. I am an early childhood educator.
And this is Cindy Tarabush. I am an early childhood consultant.
This podcast is for parents and early childhood professionals.
Let our experience and research-based knowledge become your guide. Before the episode officially starts, a quick message about our podcast anniversary. Allison and I will be celebrating 1 year of this podcast by hosting a live episode on July 1st at 7 p.m. Please email a topic you would like us to address during that live episode to Cindy, C-I-N-D-Y, at helpingkidsachieve.com. We hope you can join us on July 1st at 7. Today, let's talk about privacy on the podcast. Something sorely lacking in today's society, yes?
Yes.
And why do you think, Allison?
Social media has
two
made
words.
it
Two words.
so that I know everything in your life and your child's life.
Right. So here's the thing. Children, we know, need privacy for healthy development.
Yeah.
And so those two words, social media, is an issue.
Yes.
Because children, the studies are showing that somewhere right after the toddler years, so that would be how old, like 2.5, 3 years old?
Yeah.
Children are aware that they are on social media.
Yeah. Well, they are.
They are, and they become very aware of it by about 2.5, 3 years old, that things about them are on the internet. And they may not be able to say it in those adult terms, but they know that things about their lives are out there for other people to see.
Yes. The kids in my class who are 2.5, some are 3, know that they are on multiple social media sites. Because when they take pictures for a Halloween parade or whatever it is, they know some of them love to pose because they know it's going to be all over the place. And some of them hate to pose because they know it's going to be all over the place.
It goes one of two ways. If I lift up my phone to look at a text message, 5 3-year-olds will pose in front of me. I'm not taking their picture.
I'm not taking your picture, Or some of them, they're so obsessed with it. Like I do, because I do take photos of the kids in my class to share with the parents what we do during the week, So It's not one of those like, hey, what did you do this week? Nothing. No, here's some photos of what we did this week. They're not posted on any social media. They're just emailed to the parents, right?
But isn't it true that young children, like I've had young children, if I'm taking pictures sometimes I take pictures of things that teachers have done with the children in a classroom. And I'm taking pictures of like a piece of chart paper and kids want to pose and kids will say to me, right? And they'll say to me, are you putting that on Facebook?
Yeah.
Are you putting that on Instagram?
Yeah. And I had to teach them like, no, none of it's going, or it's immediately like, oh, let me see. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see the photo you took of me. Like immediately, like I want to see it, or it's like weird. It's just like, all right, like here's the photo, but it's not going anywhere. They're like, oh, you're going to post it on something? No, I'm not posting it on anything.
Right.
They're just photos.
They understand the word posting by the time they're really young. And they'll mention to me Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. They know Snapchat. They know Snapchat because that whole thing of putting on, what is it, filters? Like adults do this with them, right?
Yes.
Adults do this with them. And they understand that this stuff is out there on social media in the world. So they understand that people are kind of watching them and that impacts their healthy development. Why does it impact their healthy development? Because in order for a human being to make, and particularly kids, to make individualized decisions, to make their own decisions, to be their own person, they have to do that in private. They can't be worried about what everybody else is looking at and seeing all the time. And social media, we know, eats away at people's privacies. Their confidence, I'm sorry. There's like these amazing statistics out there that people can look up. For example, 8 years ago, there was a study done. So we're talking about in 2010. Again, 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
8 years ago, ready? Approximately 90% of 2-year-olds had a consistent online presence because of the adults in their lives. And that was 8 years ago. Because adults are posting ultrasound pictures. Right? So it's before they're born. Ultrasound pictures, their baby pictures, their 1-year-old party pictures, their we went on vacation pictures, their look at us walk down the street pictures. Like, but this is just a part of their world, you know? And it's just going to keep happening. It's not like I'm trying to prevent it. I'm just saying that there needs to be a line, and we need to recognize the importance of maintaining some privacy for our children. There are statistics out there now where they talk to college-age students, and a startling percentage of them feel inferior and less confident when they're on social media.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
It's very interesting.
College kids who grew up with the social media
nope.
would be more confident in it than, say, we who did not grow up with it at all, you know. But I also don't really use it as much as they do, you know. Like,
they use it a lot.
We didn't grow up with it. I mean,
it's a part of their. It's a part of their everyday.
Photo, it wasn't being posted on the internet everywhere.
No,
it was, you know, very private. It was for her own photo albums. It was like not posted for every single person. And you're talking, some of these people have thousands of Facebook friends, and their posts are not private, you know, so anybody could find it, you know, and that's just like, I can't imagine having that much exposure at age 4.
At age, right?
You know,
like so young that they're growing up. And I know that there was some work being done in the legal realm, where advocates for children and people who know a lot about the law are trying to determine where is the line between a parent's right to publish and a child's right to privacy. Like there has to be a legal line somewhere that they're trying to find between parents having a right to do what they want with their kids' pictures and kids needing their privacy and having a right to that. There are children have rights too. So while they're doing that legal work, and maybe they will figure that out, we still have a big problem. And that's the oversharing about children. And there's this word, I don't know if it's an Urban Dictionary, I forget where I learned it. I read it somewhere. The word is sharenting. That's oversharing parents. Sharenting. And I'm not saying never share. Although I know people who do that, right? I know people who, like, they never put pictures of their kids on Facebook. And I'm going to be honest with you. I find that a little frustrating. I'd like to see your kids if you're not someone I see all the time. I'll be honest. But how much you're sharing is the question, right?
Yeah, I think there's this fine line. Like, a lot of my friends were Facebook friends because they live far away. You know, most of my friends that I've had from high school and college, I live in states that are several hours away. So the only way I get to see their children grow up is through photos on Facebook. Okay.
Right.
However, I do not need to know every little itty bitty thing that goes on in your child's life. There does not need to be a post about every single thing that is happening in your child's life. That to me is too much.
And I think you don't have to post pictures all the time.
All the time
like
either.
Periodically. And then by a certain age, you should only post with your children's permission. What age do you think?
Jeez. I don't know.
In today's world, I would bet.
Younger than you think.
Yeah. I would bet like even pre-K kids can give permission. Because they do, don't they? They want to. You take a picture of a child who's in pre-K. They want to see the picture. And you can say to them, "Can I put this on Facebook?"
Are 3.
I know.
They're 3.
I know. They want to see the picture, and I think we have to teach them about permission from the time they're really young.
Yeah, because look what happens to some of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like they get way taken advantage of because they want to be on the internet and look pretty. I mean, it's. Yeah, so maybe you should be teaching them very young. Is this okay to post?
Yeah, is this okay? Maybe you should.
Is this okay? You should.
You know, bottom line, as far as I'm concerned, as someone who's very interested in healthy child development, is the recognition that without privacy, your children cannot make individualized decisions as to what's best for them. You know, we talk about peer pressure at certain ages, and this just intensifies that pressure 1,000-fold.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think people need to be aware that it's not healthy for their development.
It's not healthy. I mean, you have like where when I was a kid, I was very like self-conscious and like, you know, you go through these phases of feeling weird and awkward. And
Most people do.
Yeah. We didn't have social media. Okay. So you just had this weird, awkward phase, but now you have this weird, awkward phase, and your mom is posting all these pictures on Facebook about your weird, awkward phase. And now it's on the internet forever. Okay. So whereas I now at the age of 39 can forget about my weird, awkward phase because there's not many pictures of it. And for me to find a picture, I had to go through my mom's photo albums to find it. Okay.
Right.
Children today, all they have to do is go to their parents' Facebook and be like, oh, look, in 2018, I was 13 years old and blah, blah, blah. There's 49 photos of me and my
with that unfortunate haircut. There's all those photos of me with that unfortunate haircut. Like, what?
And here's all of my mom and dad's friends commenting on it.
Yes.
Oh, look how,
oh my gosh.
Look how cute. Look how weird. Oh, poor her. No, that's not okay.
It's a mental, it's a mental health debacle, people.
Yeah.
It's like not
really
good
is.
For anybody.
Not good.
So if we have to, and as we do on this podcast, give a little bit of advice and professional advice, I would recommend that early childhood settings really start to teach families about the importance of privacy for healthy self-esteem and social emotional development of their children, and to teach families. And again, I'm not going to, ask you to stop posting entirely. I'm just going to say everything in moderation.
Yes.
And what else do we want families to do with their kids?
Ask permission.
Ask permission. Yeah. Maybe from the time they're real little, at least, or demonstrate giving permission.
Demonstrate. Yeah.
Or something from the time they're really little. Permission has to be a thing. Because, eventually the legal minds will figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
And there will be restrictions, perhaps.
Well, there's going to be some sort of, there's going to be eventually a lawsuit where some kid out there is going to be like, look, my mom posted this photo of me and I didn't want it on there. And, it's going to happen because that's the law now. We're in this world, and they'll figure it out. But I won't figure it out because I don't have that legal mind.
Yeah, no, not me. I won't figure it out. I just know that it's important.
Child development advice.
Right. I just know that it's important for their healthy self-worth.
Yeah.
And for them to feel as if the whole world isn't looking at everything they do and judging it. Because when you feel that way, you can't make good decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
There are things that I don't put. I know there are a lot of adults too who put everything on social media. There are things that go in my life that I don't put on social media just because I don't really need public opinion on it.
Right. I rarely post on social media. Okay. Once in a while you'll see me post a really cute picture of my dog. Mm-hmm. But when I had a major life change last year, nobody knew about it. Mm-hmm. Because it's not anybody's business. Okay. So what happens in my personal life is my personal life. Mm-hmm. I don't need to post on Facebook that, anything that happened. And the people who I wanted to know, I personally emailed them and I told them, this is what happened and you are to know. Do the 100 other people on my Facebook page need to know that? No, it's not their business.
Yeah, well, I think we've lost sense of that a little bit. Yeah. I think, and you can, by the way, on social media. I know that Facebook has these privacy settings that you can do so that only certain people see things. But I think that when it comes to our children, it's even more important to be sure to be safeguarding their privacy. So I hope that the whole everything in moderation will kind of stick if you're listening to this podcast. And that we remind each other of that, right?
Yeah.
Please do subscribe to the podcast, rate and comment, and send topics that you would like us to cover to Cindy, Cindy, at helpingkidsachieve.com. Anything else we want to tell people?
No.
No, we're going to keep the rest of it private. Are we going to keep it private?
Private.
You and I will talk about it. Right. We're going to enact our privacy setting right now, and that way Allison and I can talk about it without everybody in the podcast world hearing it. Okay, here we go. Ready? Here comes some quiet, some privacy.
Yeah.